What's up guys, Eastsides here back with another video. In today's video, finally finishing up the guitar. Sorry it took me this long. I kept thinking I was almost done, but then I ran into something else. But right now, I'm finally attaching the frets properly. I just ordered normal frets instead of going through all the other troubles that I was going to. In the previous episodes, it was definitely much simpler because these are, designed to go down. So I just put a little bit of glue in the hole, wipe most of it off, take the frets and hammer them down into their places. I started cutting them later, and I cut them and glue them down. Going down and filing down the frets so they are even with the fretboard, and so it's just a smoother process overall when you're playing it. Taking the guitar and drilling out holes for the input jack that's going to go, and I use some of the chisels just to open it. And then I'm drilling the hole in between them, or enlarging it again, because I'm going to have to fit wires through all of it. So I'm making the hole more visible and easily accessible. And I didn't really like the way I painted it, so I'm taking the Tremolo bridge off so I can paint it. I just spray some green paint on it, and then I tape the borders for the certain design I'm going for. Taping all the sides down just to make sure I don't get any on the back or places it's not supposed to. Then I kind of put some stripes on it, kind of like Eddie Van Halen, and then some soap like I done previously. While it was drying, I began soldering. Just a big pain soldering down all the components, but the soldering did work in the end. That was a good thing. Some of the wires came undone. I let the paint dry and came back, and I hosed all of off, because when you use Dawn soap, it's really greasy, and not greasy, it's very slimy, and the soap's everywhere, which is a big pain about it, but it works really good. And I let that dry. When it dried off, came back and started attaching some of the gears, like the springs. Attached those, and I reattached the trim bar onto the guitar, and I attached the springs for the trim bar. Then I'm just placing about where each of the components roughly needs to go, and I'm trying to feed the input jack through and soldering the input jack into the guitar. I have some tape to hold it down, and I tape it in. I continue to make some other solders at the top where it connects to the guitar, and I do the ground wire that connects to the back. Some of the wires came out, so I just had to resolder the input jack because it comes out very easily. Very, very easily. My solder is not the best. My heating iron also wasn't the best. But I eventually get it all figured out again properly this time. And I make a little guitar pick, or a guitar jack that I made previously, but I make another one and I glue them together. I then also wanted to go repaint the pick guard, sand it down, paint it white, and then paint it black. Back down to the input jack, I put some tape on it to make it shiny. And same for the underside where the electronics are going to go. It can help reduce noise impact. With the guitar, I again am back doing some more solders, making sure everything is soldered correctly. And my old pickup apparently was just bad, so that was one reason why it wasn't working. Both the new pickup, it actually worked, which was cool to see. And now I'm screwing in the input jack's cover. I continue to work about. Eventually, I tape it down so I can flip it over and attach the guitar neck onto it. I do 6 holes and I screw them down. Normally in guitars I only have 4, but I just wanted to be safe and decided to do 6. Then I also put on the back cover I made a while ago. Then I started attaching some of the tone knobs and the pick plates or pickup cover onto the pick guard. I continue to fiddle around with it. I eventually do get the screws in because they're a bit challenging to get in under the tension that they need to be held in. And one of my ground wires came undone, so I resoldered that, took the screws off, and re-put all the screws back onto it. Finally time to install the guitar strings onto almost finished electric guitar. But first, I just need to attach the tone and volume knobs onto the guitar. Now time to put on the guitar strings. I made some errors when constructing it, and my bridge was not high enough, so I had to unscrew all of the strings that were holding it down and loosen the guitar. I also had to take off the strings off so I could get it removed. I measured the block of wood, and I cut that out quickly on the saw. I come back and attach that down, covered in tape so it doesn't look out of place. I screw it all down, and I chiseled the back so I can attach springs in and screw in everything that I had taken out and put back to how it was. Before going into how the final guitar looks, I just want to show you this is what my original sketch for the guitar looks like. And I think I did a pretty good job, other than like flipping the colors mainly, but the shape is definitely the same. Finally finished making the entire guitar. This has been a big hassle. What happened? Big struggle. It doesn't sound the best, and one of the strings snapped the high E string while it was tightening. I didn't realize I was tightening this one instead of this one, so it snapped out of tension. But the guitar sounds alright. So I'll just mess around with it, kind of show you what it sounds like. Right now I just have it with a good amount of distortion and D standard tuning. Chugging's pretty good, but there's a lot of fret buzz in it. I think my fret warped a few millimeters possibly. The third and second frets, they sound identical just because of the fret buzz. And just places across the fretboard, there's a bit of fret buzz in them. Now for the clean tone. Now for moderate distortion or overdrive. You can see there's a lot of fret buzz on the power board right there. And just a lot of fret buzz in general, which makes the guitar not that good. But chugging, again, is I would say really good sound actually on it. And like below the top, it's mainly just these two that have this area that has the most fret buzz. Other than this, below the guitar is pretty good, but if you weren't in some of the times of me playing it, it was just some areas just had a lot of fret buzz in it. So, kind of what I learned about this project, or if I were to make this again, I'd definitely put a truss rod inside the guitar. A lot of the videos I watched said the truss rods didn't really matter too much, but from the bending, I can see it does matter a lot. And I'd make sure to get my measurements correct, because normally this would just be flat with it, but since this is only 1.5 inches thick, and I made the neck for a 2-inch thick guitar, I had to put it up, which caused it to bend forward easily, which is causing some of the detuning, and that's why I'm in D standard right now instead of E standard, because E standard will put too much tension on it being raised forward, so that kind of sucks. Another thing is I accidentally got a right-handed trim low bridge, so your trim bar would go right here, which I'm left-handed, so that doesn't really work. So, but overall, I think just the design of it looks sick. I'm gonna be real. And thank you guys for watching. Z-Slides out.